BBC General Hospital Spoilers show that sometimes when someone is quietly gone, it speaks louder than any announcement, and that's what's going on right now. When Finola Hughes isn't around on the set of General Hospital anymore, when her name stops coming up in production talks, and the familiar presence behind Anna is gone from under the studio lights, it doesn't feel like just a regular contract change. It feels like a big shift. For years, Anna hasn't just lived in Port Charles, she's been the heart of it. Taking Finola out of that foundation doesn't just cause a tiny crack. It could cause the structure to collapse. If her contract has really ended and wasn't renewed and this is a real ending instead of just a break, then Anna's future shifts completely overnight. Does not evolve. Ends. Anna without Finola isn't just a simple recast. It raises a real philosophical question for the show itself. Finola doesn't just play Anna. She sets her rhythm, shows her strength, reveals her softness, and brings out her passion. Anna's sharp, calculating look, her calm control even when she hurts others deeply, and the complicated way she sees right and wrong, all of that comes from the actor who created the character. The problem here isn't just with the story. It stands as a symbol. Anna is not someone who just stays on the sidelines and blends into the background. She's been the glue tying together espionage plots, WSB conspiracies, family drama, romantic chaos, and the passing down of legacy through generations. Since she arrived in 1985, and especially after 2012, she has been both the emotional core and the strategic support. Taking her out breaks storylines that haven't even finished yet, and the timing just makes the shock hit even harder. Anna is stuck in a mental health facility in France right now, trying to show that Faison is still alive and that someone manipulated her. That storyline now feels like it's left hanging in a way that's kind of unsettling. If Finola is gone, does that mean Anna never comes back from France? Does that mean the truth she's after disappears once she's no longer on screen? Or does the show take the risk of recasting one of its most iconic characters? Every choice comes with some risk. Removing Anna completely would seem sudden and really sad. A character who's been through assassins, betrayal, kidnappings, mind games, and tough moral choices would end up fading away without anyone noticing. That's not closure. That's erosion. It would show viewers that legacy is no longer safe. Recasting, on the other hand, brings about a whole different kind of explosion. The audience's connection to Finola's performance isn't casual. It's really emotional. Replacing her might cause enough backlash to shake viewers' trust. Anna isn't just a role. She's something that lasts through time. She stands as a steady presence in a world where people often come and go. Changing that presence could push away the people who have been following her story for years. Sometimes the end of a contract is just a matter of following routine steps. But when it's on screen, it feels like it's about existence itself. Who else is going to carry the weight of the WSB mythology, if not Anna, who takes on the villains with the same cleverness? Who connects the old guard with the new generation? The vacuum that forms isn't small. It's like a story's own gravity drawing everything toward its center. And this is when the real disaster starts to take shape. If Anna's story gets cut off, those unresolved tensions just hang in the air. The conspiracy with Sidwell, Cullum, and Pascal just doesn't hold the same emotional weight anymore. The fight for truth turns into something more distant and less about individuals. The show runs the risk of losing the psychological intensity that once gave the storyline its depth. There's also a more troubling way to look at it. Maybe this destruction was meant to happen. Maybe Anna's absence is there to remind us that even legends can be gone forever. Port Charles is going through a time where its history might not be enough to keep it going. If that's the case, this isn't just about switching actors, it's a change in the whole vibe. The audience can already feel it. Anxiety takes the place of certainty. Nostalgia turns into fear. When an actress like Finola decides to step away for good, it's about more than just one character leaving. It's about closing a chapter that really shaped what the series is all about. If Anna's future really is cut short, the impact will be felt all over Port Charles. Relationships will break down in different ways. Power structures will shift. The moral center moves. Anna has always been more than just a spy or a romantic lead. She stood as the voice of reason when chaos took over the canvas. Losing that presence doesn't lead to a smooth change. It sends shockwaves through the story. Whether the show tries to change things up or lets Anna slowly become a tragic memory, one thing is clear: Finola leaving is a real turning point. No pause at all. This isn't a vacation. It was a moment that changed everything. When a cornerstone falls, the whole structure shakes. Anna is still stuck inside a psychiatric hospital in France, facing a struggle that nobody else seems to believe. She's steady in her belief that Faison is alive and that he was behind her kidnapping. To the authorities, it just seems like she's imagining things. For those who believed in her instincts before, it now just seems like needless paranoia. But Anna understands the difference between trauma and truth. What she doesn't realize is that the whole situation has been carefully planned out. Pascal, Sidwell, and the WSB traitor Ross have carefully created a scheme to discredit her, push her aside, and shut her up without directly attacking. The cruelty isn't just in locking her up, but in twisting how people see her changing, a legendary intelligence operative, into someone written off as unstable. For now, Anna is still in France, far from Port Charles and disconnected from the chaos she senses but can't get to. But the story doesn't stay still. A change is taking shape, one that moves the emotional heart of the crisis. Emma and Robin are starting to doubt the story they've been told. At first, the inconsistencies are small little things that don't quite fit, steps that seem missing. Odd gaps in how people talk to each other. Robin, with her careful scientific way of looking at things, just can't let it go. Emma, guided by her gut and deep loyalty. He just can't come to terms with how much her grandmother's mind has broken down. Together they start following threads that others didn't notice. This is the moment when the shock starts to build. Robin's sharp mind begins breaking down the official explanation bit by bit. Medical records, surveillance logs, transport documentation, none of it seems completely solid. Emma's strong feelings only make things worse. She remembers how clear-headed Anna was, how tough she stayed, and how sharp she could be. She's not a woman lost in fantasy. This woman is being trapped in a corner. As mother and daughter come together, their worry turns into a focused effort to get to the bottom of things. At the same time, Pascal and Sidwell aren't just standing by watching. They expected some criticism, just not from Anna's own family. Their operation depended on keeping everything separate. What they didn't realize was how strong blood loyalty can be. The deeper Robin and Emma dig, the riskier the game gets. If they find even a little bit of the staged manipulation, the whole act falls apart. Ross, since he was already seen as a traitor, ends up being the weak spot that could bring the whole thing down. The calculation gets more intense. Sidwell now has to figure out if they should take things up a notch. Does he clamp down more? Maybe even move Anna somewhere else to keep her from getting involved? Or is he trying to discredit Robin and Emma ahead of time, making their search seem like emotional denial instead of a real search for facts? Every move from here on feels risqué. The story's emotional tone changes a lot. People used to see Anna's confinement as just a tragic misunderstanding. Now it feels more like a planned kind of imprisonment. When Robin jumps back into investigation mode, it stirs up some old tensions at the WSB. Emma stepping into the fray shows that the fight is carrying on through the generations. The conspiracy goes beyond just one story about a captive. It unfolds into a complex series of revelations. The crazy part is just how planned out everything is. Pascal and Sidwell thought they had pulled off the perfect deception. Truth tends to come back through those who just won't give up. As Emma and Robin get closer to figuring out who's behind it all, the possible fallout is getting intense. If they reveal the manipulation, it won't just clear Anna's name but could also bring down Sidwell's whole operation. And that's where the real shock is waiting. If it turns out Anna is sane and just been quiet on purpose, the moral flip is really hard to take. The woman others see as unstable ends up being the most believable person in the room. The institutions that dismissed her have lost their credibility, and the people who caused her fall are now going to be exposed around the world. What started as a simple lockdown in France is turning into a serious moment of truth. The changes in the storyline are pretty obvious now. They are speeding up. As Emma and Robin get nearer to the truth, the illusion keeping Anna trapped starts to break apart. The explosion is getting bigger, and when it explodes, it won't just stay abroad. It's going to rock Port Charles to its core. The mood inside Port Charles is changing again, and this time it feels tied to the weight of legacy. As General Hospital gets ready to honor Tristan Rogers for his legendary role as Robert, the celebration does more than just mark the past. It brings it back to life. Robert has always been tied closely to Anna's path, their bond shaped by spying, betrayal, love, and war. A tribute to Robert just wouldn't feel right without Anna. And that's why the whispers about her coming back are getting louder, more sure, and more intentional. Even though there's been some worry lately about Finola Hughes' role, she still plays a strong part in the heart of the show. Anna Devane isn't the type to quietly settle into a life locked away in some institution abroad. She thinks things through carefully and plans ahead. A survivor. A woman whose instincts have kept so many people safe. If Robert is being honored and the canvas leans into nostalgia and legacy, then Anna's absence stands out too much to overlook. Her comeback wouldn't just stir feelings, it would blow everything up. It seems like the calculation was done on purpose. Anna's story in France has been quietly building up beneath layers of lies. Pascal, Sidwell, and Ross thought they had destroyed her credibility by putting her through psychiatric evaluation and planting doubt. But honoring Robert opens doors that probably shouldn't have been closed in the first place. Celebrating his legacy brings unresolved questions about Anna's fate back into focus. It shifts the view of her being trapped from a final point to the start of something revealing. The surprise growing isn't just that Anna might come back, it's the way she does it. If she returns to Port Charles with proof that she's been manipulated, the whole power setup could change in a flash. Sidwell's usually quiet operations are suddenly exposed to risk. Ross's betrayal is about to be revealed. Pascal's orchestration falls apart when you really take a closer look. Anna doesn't return quietly. She comes back with clear purpose. What makes this development more unstable is the timing. The tribute to Robert shows the show is really embracing its espionage roots. That shift in tone feels like a deliberate reset, moving things towards something more tense and serious. Anna's return wouldn't be sentimental. It would make sense. When she came back from France, and she carried the heavy knowledge of someone who had seen what really goes on and knew just how deep the corruption ran. There's something kind of poetic about it. Robert is being recognized for his legacy while Anna breaks through institutional silence to take back her own. The contrast really stands out. It shows that these characters aren't just old memories, they're the foundation. Bringing Anna back right now changes what felt like a story slipping away into a spark that sets the whole thing on motion. The whole crazy conspiracy around her has always depended on keeping her cut off from others. But being alone falls apart when friends come back together. Emma and Robin's low-key digging, Robert stepping into the spotlight, and Anna's sharp survival sense all coming together at the same time spark a storm Sidwell just can't keep under control. The change in the storyline is clear. This isn't about wrapping up Anna's arc. It's about making it better. When Anna returns to the scene focused, calm, and angry, the impact won't stay confined to France. It's going to spread through Port Charles. Every lie said when she's not around will come back to be faced. Everyone will start doubting every alliance. Every enemy is going to feel completely exposed. The tribute to Robert might look like a celebration, but underneath there's a clear strategic shift going on. The show is getting things ready. The legacy characters aren't disappearing, they're coming back stronger. And Anna's return won't just bring things back to normal. It's going to shake things up.